Hi, friends. I'm Courtney. I'm a performer, speaker, and a writer. I'm a mama to three crazy boys and a super sweet dog. I decided 12 years ago that I needed to create a business that worked for me instead of me working for it. I'm a multi passionate entrepreneur who may be considered a serial entrepreneur by some, but then I realized that all of my businesses focused on connection, community, and creating an incredible experience. I cannot wait to share with you how to make small but mighty changes in your life to affect your overall well being and create a life and business you want to get up in the morning for. That's right, my friends. I am the Renaissance Mama. Hi, friends. It's me, Courtney, the Renaissance Mama, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time from your busy, busy day to check out the show. If you haven't been here before, well, then welcome. Like I said, I'm Courtney, the Renaissance Mama, and I chat everything from parenting to running my small business to the many, many, many hats I wear as a busy, busy mama and kind of the different seasons of not only motherhood but businesshood. I don't know if that's a word or not, but I'm thinking it is. Well, I don't know what the temperature is like where you are right now, but for me, we are getting into the warmer months. So I am so excited for summer to almost be here. But what that also means is I need to get some planning done. So I thought that's what this episode will be all about, chatting really how do you prep for the summer for not only your business but your family and how they can both support each other. I did an episode a while back. I did two actually. I did one that was really about how to kind of keep that momentum going in the summer months, especially if you've decided to sort of take off the gas a little bit and you still want to keep engaged with your customers. You still want to be, there and available, but maybe not as available as you normally are. So that is a great episode. I will share it with you. I've also did an episode in the past of how do you work from home with your kids there. This is something that I have been doing for many, many years in all the different stages. This year feels a little bit different though. My kids are getting that little bit bigger, which you would think, oh, well, Courtney, that's going to be easier for you. You have time to work. But unfortunately, that expectation of like summer fun and free is still what goes on in my kids' heads. So, as much as I definitely want to, allow that to happen, I feel like everyone deserves a summer, especially kids, adults too. But the reality is, how do you kind of balance it with all of the things? So, with work, with commitments, with, extracurricular activities, with vacations, with so many things. I want it all to happen, but that means a lot of planning. So, that is what this episode's going to be about, how you can plan your perfect summer. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, and I'm going to start with family first. And this is why I'm starting with family first, because so many of us business owners say, like, oh, I start a business for my family, for the freedom, for this. Yet when we actually start planning, we plan business things first, or we plan meetings first, or we plan other people first. Where if we're saying, the kids, the family, that life is supposed to be what we are, what we're doing this all for, then I want to start with the family first. So the first thing I'm going to do this summer before I plan any business things, before I do anything, is I sit down with my boys, with my husband, and we create what's called a summer bucket list. Now, I will say this activity used to be one of the highlights for sure in my motherhood, to be honest. It was something we did every year since they were little. Obviously, it looks different now that people are getting a little bit bigger, but the concept is the same. You want everybody to come together and literally put all the ideas on a big piece of paper of what you want to do this summer. It makes sure that everybody has a voice, whether we get all of those things done or not. A lot of times it doesn't totally happen. We want to know we have a plan. I want everyone to know that we're all on the same page. So really it's just great exercise to like, okay, what does everyone want? Let's dream, let's imagine, let's start, doing this together. And you might be surprised, your kids may need some help. It's not easy thinking of all the things you can do. So, really kind of working with them and trying to figure out, okay, what is something you love to do? Do you love the beach? Do you love splash pads? Do you love a farm? Do you love, right? The other thing I always kind of worked around with my kids as well is really chatting about, like, okay, not everything should be costing money, right? Like summer can get so expensive if you're at home with your kids trying to keep them entertained, trying to keep them busy, trying to give them like the best summer ever. You've got to sometimes budget. So that was part of our conversation as well. But when they were little, like I said, it was super cute. We'd have big pieces of paper and like it'd be all different colors with markers, and we would draw pictures of some of the things and really just let them play, let them explore, let them share all of the things they think they want to do. And that big summer bucket list would stay. We'd post it to the wall and it would stay up there. So when we started to actually making our plans, we knew, okay, let's go back to the bucket list. Remember what else is on the bucket list. And it was a great way to really, like I said, get the kids involved, get everyone on the same page, and get everyone really excited about summer. Plus, giving everyone the voice. I know I said that before, but sometimes when you're in a family or a group or anybody, right? You want everyone to have that voice. So even kids, you want to let them know, listen, you've got a voice, you're being heard. What is it that you want to do? We loved doing the bucket list. So I hope it's something you try. And then in regards to your business, I feel like doing the same thing. And it might look a little bit different. I will say in past years, normally is the summer is the time where I kind of pull back on my business. This year is looking a little bit different. I have a new project I'm working on. Actually, I have two new projects I'm working on. So I have a online course, a self-paced course. I'm working with homeschoolers that I'm really kind of shouting out and promoting throughout the summer. It's a great resource for kids who are at home, teens and tweens who are looking to add some theater to their life. So that is one project. And then I'm also adding a project where there's going to be some performance. So in person, working on some stuff with some students, which I'm excited for, which normally we take a total break on the summer. This year is different. So once again, though, start with a bucket list for your business. What are not even goals? I don't want to say goals. Goals are a little bit more concrete. The bucket list is like the vision. So what is your vision for the summer this year for your business? So like I said, for me, I know I have a new big project happening. I know I have this in-person project happening. I know I need to make important decisions for the fall, open up registration for that. But as always, I just love keeping connected with my community and what that looks like over the summer as well. So big, huge personal list, bucket list for kids, family, everybody, and then your bucket list for your business. And that was the first thing I would start with. All right, so now that you have that big bucket list of all the things you want to do this summer, now let's talk about goals. So once again, I'm starting with family, and you're probably like, what family goals could you possibly have? But this is where I do really like adding that element of setting a goal for yourself, whether it's yourself personally, maybe there's things around the house you want to get done or you want help with kids and family and husband and all of that. Or maybe it's working with your kids and getting them to set some goals for themselves. So in the past, we've definitely done some reading goals when my kids were much younger. Once again, I love using the colors, the markers, making everything very bright and vibrant and exciting. So there were some reading goals for some of my boys when I really wanted them to continue reading throughout the summer and keep engaged. None of my kids are really big readers, so it was always something that I had to like encourage and get them going on. So we've done that in the past. This year, I think we're actually doing something more kind of sports related. All of my boys play hockey, which I have shared in the past. And this year, I think part of their goals are going to be kind of doing some specialty hockey training, but personal hockey training. So not with a team, not on ice, not with a coach, but what are things they can do, whether it be every day or every few days. We are kind of setting up a bit of a plan. So maybe some fun little workouts they can do, some shots, some stick handling. And it's really just to, number one, give them something to work towards throughout the summer. I think that is key no matter what age you are. The last thing we want to do is our kids sitting at home all summer kind of bored and not doing very much. But also it gives them, like I said, that goal, that intention, that like little bit extra of motivation. So there's tons of different ideas, but you want your kid, youth, teen, whatever it is, to really kind of figure it out for themselves. So once again, maybe they want to brainstorm potential goals, and then you work with them and say like, oh, I really like that one, or this one could be good, or maybe I could help you do with this. And then not only do you want to set that goal, you want to help your kids sort of figure out the steps they need to continue to set it up. So I gave you that example that we are looking at doing like a little bit of a workout. Well, you can bet that I've been sending my boys like Instagram reels and TikToks with some really fun home training hockey workouts. And of course, they love videos. So it's a great way to kind of be like, hey, check out this. Now, my oldest, he is looking to make some money. He's all in that stage right now, which I also love. So same thing, he wanted to just kind of like start babysitting and start mowing lawns and doing this and doing that without a plan. So I was like, hold up, you need to slow down. And we kind of worked through what the steps would look like. And not only that, like for babysitting, he was like, well, I don't really want to babysit, a kid this age or that age or whatever it is. And I was like, that's great. Now you know what you want to do. Put that in words, put it in writing. So when you're sharing with people, hey, I babysit, but I prefer to, babysit kids this age, or I'm really good with kids this age. And it was fun to kind of walk through, step by step with him, how that would work. Same as when I said he wanted to mow lawns. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Who's bringing this lawnmower? Where are you doing it? How are you getting rides there? So once again, just like slowing down and figuring out the logistics of things. I think I love when kids have these big ideas and these big goals, but that's sometimes where parents need to kind of come in and say, let me work through it with you, right? Like, I don't want to say no, that's not what I'm saying. Let's figure this out together. Then when it comes to your business, of course, you want to set some goals for your business for the summer. And it doesn't necessarily mean sales. Doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, I'm doing these new big projects. That's what I'm doing. But in past years, I have really kind of taken a bit of a step back during the summer, but my goals were things like, connecting with X amount of people, or posting every 3 or 4 days, or sharing some past testimonials. Like, it can look very different, your goals, if you are taking a little bit of a slower summer, but still take the time to set those goals for your business. And like I did with the kids, figure out the logistics of those goals, how I'm going to get there, what I'm going to be doing, all the little bits. So you've got your bucket list, you got your goals, and now what's next? So now I want to chat a little bit about some of the logistics of summer and some of my best sort of tips and tricks when it comes to running a business from home while your kids are still there and you're trying to sort it all out. And once again, these are things that if you start planning now, when summer hits, you're ready to go, things are making sense. So the first one you want to do is you want to make sure you have a designated space. I know that sounds silly, but I know for me, throughout the school year, when the kids are not here, I work in my office, but sometimes I work on the table, sometimes I work outside, sometimes I do all these different things. So in the summer, when I know the kids are going to be home, I want to make sure my space is ready for me. So that means cleaned, organized, looking good, making me feel good, just make sure that I have everything I need. We also kind of set some guidelines with each other when it comes to summer schedules and what that looks like. So, the first one is obviously if I'm filming, I have a little something that I put on my door so the kids all know. I also like to share with them my schedule. So, once again, if I'm filming or recording things or, meeting or doing anything important, I want them to know. So, it is a conversation. Like I said, I have the little post-it that goes up on the door, or letting them know ahead of time, like, listen, this is what my day looks like. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And like I said, getting everyone on the same page is so key. And just because they're kids does not mean they don't need to know what's happening, or they actually love to know what's happening. One of the things I have done in many, many years is we have a big schedule that everyone can see. I think I've shared in the past that we use this obviously throughout the winter as well. But in the summer, because you're literally sometimes going like hour by hour, the schedule gets even bigger. So we've in the past used a big whiteboard, writing down all the different days. And when the kids were little, we had pictures of some of the activities. So everyone knew. Kids love routine. They love structure. So coming summer, all of a sudden you're losing some of that structure. They might not do as well. So finding ways to kind of continue with that structure. And like I said, having that big board so everybody knows what's happening. They can check the board. They know where it is. They know what's going on. That has definitely saved us in the past. I think it's really important too is getting your family clear on expectations. And this one's really key because I feel like as a mom, like I said, I get that everybody deserves a summer. I know when I was a kid, summer was such a big deal and I was like so excited for it, and like getting to go places and do things, but hang out with my friends and sometimes even just like chilling and relaxing and not having to get up and do all the things. Like that was awesome. So I do believe my kids deserve a wonderful, wonderful summer. But I also need them to know that like I still have to work, right? So that expectation of what is actually doable and like when do I actually have to work and when can I take some time off? And that's where like I like to chat with them about like how planning needs to happen. And that's where that bucket list comes in. Like, okay, remember we wanted those things to happen. Let's plan them. Let's put them in the calendar and we can make them happen. But I think having a conversation with your family about like summer expectations that might add in things like sleeping in or bedtimes, because as my kids get older, they want to hang out later and do these different things. But knowing that like I'm still working, my husband's still working, we still have commitments. We have things to do. It's not just like an absolutely do nothing. That's where I love that idea of having those goals for your kids as well. So there's something that they are working towards in the summer. Another great tip, whether your kids are younger or older or anything, is ask for help when you need it. It can be really hard when you have, littles at home and you're trying to run your business and do different things. So things I have done in the past is I actually used to kind of share mornings with one mom, and I would drop off my son with her, on like Monday mornings, and then on Tuesday mornings she would drop off her daughter with me, and that just gave us both that time one morning a week. And like I said, it could be different, it could be changed for anybody else, but that one morning a week that we both really got to get things done. So that is a great kind of tip or trick to use throughout the summer if you're looking for some help. Obviously, using some babysitters. I know for me in the past, I've hired some students who even could just like entertain the kids while I'm trying to work or trying to do different things. I've also in the past have asked for help with virtual assistants. So when it comes to work and business, and if I know I'm not going to have all those hours in the day in the summer to get things done, like I said, you have that choice of like sort of stepping back a little bit, or you can delegate and ask for help and see where you can get assistance. Maybe you have some family members close by that would be willing to help out either with the kids or your business. I don't know what your business is, but really just looking for other ways to do it, right? Like if you figure during the school year, kids are at school, you have all this time, and then all of a sudden you don't in the summer. It's going to be a shock to yourself, to your business, to all the things that you normally get to do. That being said, I would also highly suggest to still make time for you. Yes, please, my dear Renaissance mama, you need to make sure you are still doing all the things that like make you feel good and light you up and just make you feel like yourself. For me, one of the things I do every day is my workout. Then I like to take the dog on a walk or a run. I'll usually listen to a podcast before I come back to work. In the summer, it's a little bit different because I'm not, automatically doing that walk. So I do have to be a little bit more intentional of like, okay, this is something I'm choosing to do. This is something I want to do. This is something that really makes me happy. So finding ways to fit it into my schedule. Same thing if you are, an activity that you love to do, make sure you are still making time for it in the summer. Another side note, I forgot to say when we were chatting expectations, and I have to share this one because I've got 3 boys, so they like to eat. And I will say when kids are home, it's like they eat constantly. And sometimes when I am downstairs or upstairs, depending where I'm working on the day, and in the kitchen, they just assume because mommy's there, I'm going to feed them or I'm going to make something, I'm going to do something. And then all of a sudden, a quick, I'm going to fill up my coffee turns into half an hour later because I've made this snack and I've grabbed this and I've grabbed that and I grabbed that. So long story short, setting expectations in regards to time for food, right? I think that was something that really has helped us in the past of like, okay, this is breakfast, this is lunch, this is dinner. Also setting expectations of like, you're big enough, you can make this, or you can go get this for yourself, or you can go do this. And then also those expectations of like cleaning up after yourself or not eating every single thing in sight because dinner or lunch or whatever it is going to come soon. I know this is a conversation we have a lot in our household, but I also know it's something just to be aware of and having that conversation about expectations and food, because if you don't, you are going to find yourself spending tons of time cooking and cleaning and doing all those things when you are supposed to be working or you're supposed to be doing something else, right? So just really being aware of your time and once again, having those honest conversations with your kids and say, no, I can't make you a sandwich right now. I have to hop on a meeting, or no, I have to do this. Like, it's not lunch yet, right? So I find being open and honest with your kids, it all goes back to that. If I imagine, I'm running this business and I'm doing all these things for my family, they should be part of it, right? So I have conversations with them all the time of how they can help out. And sometimes them helping out just means like giving me 20 minutes to finish my emails, or sometimes helping out means cleaning the kitchen up, or sometimes helping out just really means listening and understanding and seeing, that they are a part of this and I do it because of them. Like, I chose to be a business owner so I could have freedom, time freedom, location freedom with my family. But I want them to have that same sort of like bond with my business and know that like they can be part of this as well. Now, the last few things I want you to think about just to make the summer run so smoothly is I want you to set some boundaries and stick to them. And this is going to go both personal and professional with your business. So like I mentioned before, setting those boundaries with my kids of this is the day times I work, this is what this means, this was the expectation with the food, all of those things, those are boundaries. Those are clear boundaries that I can set with them and we can chat back and forth. I know I've said it, my kids are a little bit bigger, so it makes life a little bit easier, but they still want me to drive them all over the place or do different things. So that might be setting boundaries of like, hey, mom can give a drive around this time, but I'm working till this time, or I'm having a meeting till that time, or you have to get on your bike, or you have to, right? So really setting those boundaries, having those conversations. For me, it's been a lot of what check-ins look like, right? So if my kids are out and about with friends, like they need to text me every once in a while, let me know they're coming home for dinner, let me know who they're with, what's happening, just so we all are very, very clear. Then with your business, of course, you want to set those boundaries and time, and when is it business hours, when is it not. I love putting, a little reminder on my emails where if like, hey, you know what, it's summer, it's a little bit slower, I'm gonna get to you, I appreciate you, but I might be a little bit slower because I'm spending time with my family. I actually love putting that in my email. I also love when I get it, like when I am, emailing someone or doing some work with somebody and I get that email back, I'm like, oh, you're right. It is summer. You enjoy yourself. You enjoy yourself. Let me know, get back to me when you can, but there's no mad urgent rush. So really just try your best to set those boundaries, stick to them. And that still just goes back to that, like, those goals for the summer. Like, what did you want for your summer? Did you want it to be a super busy, crazy summer, or did you want it to be this really relaxful summer that you were, working on this project or working on that? Go back to that bucket list, right? Like, you are not going to get anything done on that bucket list if you don't set boundaries. So setting boundaries can be really hard, but they can also be really important when you want a successful business or a successful personal life. Well, my friends, thank you so much for checking out the show today. And I really just hope you have the very best summer. But know that if you want that incredible summer of all the memories, the photos, the great stories, the things that you and your kids are going to remember for a lifetime, well, my friends, that means you need to plan for it now, right? So get on writing that bucket list, set some amazing goals, really start talking about expectations and use some of my tips and tricks and strategies, and then be able to enjoy it, right? Ask for help, look after yourself, chat with your kids, make it the most memorable summer, because let's be honest, that is what it's all about. I have so many incredible memories of going to my cottage in the summer, or going on 2 trips, or even just, like I said, hanging out and relaxing, going to the park with friends, reading books, starting my many businesses as a small child, right? All of those things, that is what this is about. That's what like makes life and things so wonderful. So I want you to have the greatest summer. I hope you take some of these tips and tricks. I hope you use them, and I cannot wait to hear what is your most favorite summer memory this year. And if you live somewhere like I do, in Canada, then the summers are very small. So you want to make sure you squeeze out every last drop of sunshine. As always, friends, if you want to continue this conversation, I'm at therenaissancemama.com or on Instagram at Courtney Renaissance Mama. And if you want to check out this show or more incredible shows from the Femme Network, you can download the True TV Plus app on your phone, on your TV, and watch these shows and so much more. Bye for now, friends.